Thanks for watching the Daily Debate Live Thursdays with Taha Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight, actually, I have all the honor of having with me scientists of Egypt who have been honored by His Excellency President Abdel al-Sisi on Science Day, marking Science Day, a very important occasion, very dear to us, where we always look with pride to our dear scientists, those who contribute with their researches and with their contributions to the development of this country. In his speech, the President had always asserted on Science Day that Egypt is on the right track, paying science and scientists paramount importance, adding that the latest achievements in the different domains of scientific research will always accomplish more progress and more prosperity for the nation. Well, honoring scientists by the President supports and encourages further scientific research in the country, which is considered to be a mover for development. So tonight we will take this great opportunity to welcome our dear guests, honorable scientists who have been awarded by His Excellency the President, winners of the State Award of First Class. I have with me Honorable Scientist Professor Dr. Nabil Abdel, who is the former President at the National Research Institute. Congratulations, Dr. Nabil.
Thank you.
And it was great seeing you being honored by the President and crowning your great march, as we call it, because usually an honor by the President is there for the children, for the grandchildren, and the great memory, isn't it?
It is. It is, definitely.
Yes. Before talking about the memory, we will talk more about the President honoring a number of Egyptian scientists, professors, researchers for their relentless work. So Egypt is always paying tribute to all those who really excel in the different domains. Thus, at the ceremony, the President stated that education, scientific research, and innovation will be returning back as top priorities for the state, and underline the pivotal role that has been played by science and scientists today in the country's sharing in the country's development. Let me first start with Professor Dr. Nabil and a flashback on that very special day in his life and being the winner of the State Award of First Class. What did it mean to you, Dr. Nabil?
Well, it's not only an achievement, it's a real honor to be standing there with the President of the country, presenting it to you and giving it out to you. It's something that hasn't been happening for a few years. So it meant a great deal in that sense. I think there were 2 years, 1917 and 1918, so that were honored both years at the same time. The achievements of every single person there should be counted. Mm-hmm. There's a variety, there's a great variety of scientists based on basic sciences, engineering, agriculture, you name it, they're all there. Mm-hmm. Even social sciences and economics. So it's a very special day.
A very special day, definitely. And the message behind it is also very special. It means we're crowning your contributions. We're saying thank you for the long march. We're saying thank you for your contributions to this nation. And also a message to the youth today who are seeing you as role models, and also looking up to you and thinking of one day, how can they also crown their march like you?
Yeah, it takes a few years, but at least, as you say, it's a guideline for the younger scientists. That's the goal I want to get. That's the end line that I want to reach. I can keep on giving and giving, but at one stage you have to be accounted for. So I think the time has come, and we've seen it in the last week, how scientists have been accomplished and appreciated by the government.
Here we can see Dr. Nabil being honored by His Excellency President Abdel al-Sisi and being announced as the winner of the State Award of the Nation First Class. And what an honor to be honored by His Excellency, the Head of State. Those are the moments of honor and the moments of pride, aren't they, Dr. Nabil? We can see those are really moments that you definitely cherish. Here we go. Here is the honor. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely outstanding, and especially towards the end of the when you're at the top of the scientific community, one of the tops, not the top, and it's really appreciated. It made quite a difference, and it gives the younger scientists something to look forward to.
Definitely it is, and it's always inspirational, and moments of honor are moments that we all cherish, and we are always striving for recognition. When it comes from the President, definitely it makes a real difference. Short break and we'll be back for further discussion. My dear guest is Professor Dr. Nabil Abdel, former President at the National Research Institute, and the one being honored by His Excellency, the Head of State, the winner of the State Award First Class. We'll be back.
المرحلة القادمة من مسيرة العمل الوطني تفرض علينا وضع الإنسان المصري في مقدمة أولويات الدولة من خلال إطلاق استراتيجية شاملة لإصلاح وتطوير منظومة التعليم تتوازى مع البدء في تطبيق منظومة التأمين الصحي المتكامل.
الفترة دي هي بصراحة خطوة كويسة جدا.
كلام ولا في الأحلام.
الناس مش مصدقة نفسها.
تضافركم معانا هينجح سواء كان في التعليم أو في الصحة، والكلام ده للمفكرين والمثقفين والإعلاميين بالإضافة للمجتمع.
أي حد عنده قوائم انتظار يتصل بالرقم الساخن وربنا هيكرمه إن شاء الله.
خدمة قوائم الانتظار مع حضرتك.
لن ينجح أي نظام في الدولة المصرية، تأمين صحي، تعليم، استثمار، تنمية، إلا بالاستقرار والأمن.
صراحة حاسس بالشعب، لا في تغيير في البلد،
مس قلوب المصريين كلهم.
ادوا دفعة للنجاح وشجعوا وحطوا ايديكم معانا في ان احنا المنظومة تنجح. انا لو تخيرني بين ان انا اكل ولا اعالج دول، لا اعالج دول.
نخاف عليها طول حياتنا ونحمي أرضها. فهمنا يعني إيه بلادي، تحية العالم ننادي لك يا حبي وفؤادي. بنحبك يا مصر، احنا اللي هنحافظ عليها، نبني مستقبلنا فيها، هنعليها ونعلى بيها ونشيل اسم مصر. علمونا في مدرستنا ازاي نحبها، نخاف عليها طول حياتنا ونحمي أرضها. فهمنا يعني إيه بلادي، تحية العالم ننادي لك يا حبي وفؤادي. بنحبك يا مصر، احنا اللي هنحافظ عليها، نبني مستقبلنا فيها، هنعليها ونعلى بيها ونشيل اسم مصر. بنحبك يا مصر ونشيل اسم مصر. علمونا ان احنا واحد، كلنا مصريين، احنا لينا رب واحد مهما اختلف الدين. علمونا ان احنا واحد، كلنا مصريين، احنا لينا رب واحد مهما اختلف الدين. هنحب بعض مهما يجرى، واللي عنده فينا فكرة للبلد تدفنها بكرة. هيقولوا ابن مصر، احنا اللي هنحافظ عليها، نبني مستقبلنا فيها، هنعليها ونعلى بيها ونشيل اسم مصر. أنا أبقى جندي من جنودها واحمي أرضها، لو عايزة مني عمري كله تحت أمرها. فهمنا يعني إيه بلادي، تحية العالم ننادي لك يا حبي وفؤادي. بنحبك يا مصر، احنا اللي هنحافظ عليها، نبني مستقبلنا فيها، هنعليها ونعلى بيها.
And still with moments of pride and His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi honoring scientists, that was really a day of special significance. And tonight I have all the honor and pleasure of having with me two of those scientists honored by the President. Earlier we had the great honor to welcome Dr. Nabil Abdel, the former President of the National Research Institute and the winner of the State Award of First Class. And we're really honored to be joined now by Professor Dr. Ragaa Taha Ahmad Mansour, Professor of Vitrofertilization and the winner of the State Award of First Class. Dr. Ragaa, thank you so much for coming and congratulations.
Thank you for the invitation and thank you very much.
And I guess those moments of honor and pride are those moments that you really cherish, you know. It's a moment that you're going to remember. I was telling Professor Dr. Nabil that it is a crowning of the whole march, the honor by the President.
Yeah, yes, really true. It's a very special moment and it's very honorable and it will always be a rememberable moment, and I will always cherish this moment. I was very happy.
Yes, definitely, and we can see here His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi honoring Professor Dr. Ragaa Taha and granting her, announcing her as winner of the State Award of First Class. Here are the moments of honor of Professor Dr. Ragaa. And I guess a very reputable and important march. Here is the announcement, Dr. Ragaa. I guess moments that you are going to remember.
It shows on my face. I was very happy, really.
Definitely.
Everybody noticed.
Recognition makes us all always happy. And when it comes from the President of the Republic and definitely the winner of the State Award of First Class, is something that you should be proud of and very special.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Tell me more, not only about your feelings of happiness are dominant, but I mean, what came on mind while you were like taking up the steps to be granted this honor? What came on mind?
It was very special moments. I was, I was happy, and that I was particularly happy to meet the president. And I didn't have anything in mind, it's just feelings of gratitude and recognition and satisfaction.
Yes, we can see here together closely the moments of pride and the moments of honor of Professor Dr. Ragaa. And this field of speciality and research in that field of speciality, and when we are talking about women empowerment in Egypt, especially scientists, women scientists, what does it take?
It takes a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, and this field in particular, it's one of the medical specialties that really benefited a lot from the technological developments. So the in vitro fertilization per se was a breakthrough in history, because all through human history, fertilization has always been taking place inside the body. And only very recently, in the 60s, when scientists, namely Professor Robert Edwards, thought of this genius idea of fertilizing the egg outside the body.
Yes.
That was a breakthrough.
Lovely photo here.
Yes.
Moments of honor with His Excellency President Sisi.
Yeah.
And I guess, yes, those are the moments of pride. We would love also to see more also about the moments of honor for Dr. Nabil. We have with us our director, Ashraf Shaltut, and he is going to bring us also Dr. Nabil's photos of pride, of course. And because, when we see together those moments, we recall in a flashback of the whole march. As you talked, Professor Ragaa, that this field and this speciality is really special to you, and the contribution itself.
Yeah, I was, the first, to start this specialty in Egypt, and I was very lucky to find a chance to learn this in the United States in the early 80s, and that was very early in the field, because it was just started, and the first baby was born in, first baby in the world, it was born in 78. So in the early 80s, that was very early, to follow this field and catch up. And in the States, they started like about 5 years after the UK. And I was there when they started. It was the third, Ohio State University was the third all over, the United States to have this program. So I was lucky to be there and to join them in research. And we, of course, before we were allowed to be given the license to do this on humans, we had to do experiments on mice eggs. So we did about 2,000, eggs to be fertilized outside the body, in vitro. So, and then we had the license, and then we started working in this field.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of work. And then after working there, I returned back to my home country in early 1985, and I collaborated with my colleagues, and we all started as a team, as the first IVF unit in Egypt. That was in the beginning of '86.
Yes. Yeah. We have here moments of honor of Professor Dr. Nabil Abdel, the winner of State Award of First Class, and while he's being honored by His Excellency President Abdel Sisi. Professor Nabil, well, a long march, and the National Research Institute, when a flashback, when the name comes up to mind, it means that those scientists who are focusing on Egypt's development, on Egypt's future, on a lot for the contributions for this country.
Well, it's not only the contributions, the basic sciences and all of that. There's one side that the National Research Center was going through that was developing management systems for science and development. In the late 60s, we started a number of training courses abroad for management systems, marketing, institutional management, development of the scientist. So there were so many areas that we went through that started to build up the structure for developing and planning for the future in science and technology. That's one of the strong points within the National Research Center. Another very strong area that we started within the Egyptian the Academy of Scientific Research, and we started it with the UNESCO, is science and technology indicators. How do you evaluate all of this, what's going on? You've got to have data that you can put together, come up with an evaluation, and then start finding your weak points and your strong points. So that's one of the great achievements, I think, during the last 20, 30 years that has given the institution that push.
Yes. Dr. Ragaa, you've mentioned training. Dr. Nabil also mentioned training is very important, especially in the scientific field. It is really essential. And also the exchange of expertise and meeting with scientists all over the world.
Exactly.
And this sense of exchange and this sense of collaboration, how far did it really add to your professional career?
It is essential, because we have to exchange knowledge. And we're lucky that now we are in the era of the very handy and available to search on the online and find a lot of references, a lot of research, what's going on in other centers and other fields all over the world. Before that, when we were, for example, when I was doing my master's degree, it was here in Egypt, and we had to go to the library and find the index medicus and the search. It was very difficult, and we can't really collect all the references, what's going on in the world to communicate and see. But now it is, we're very, very lucky with this, internet revolution, that people are very well connected and knowledge is available and on, just on the spot.
Yes, that will.
So this is very, this is very important. And we always, it's very important, we go to conferences, medical conferences, to present our work and listen to other people's research and exchange knowledge. And not only that, we also visit different, centers that have similar work, and I'm lucky because the scientific community and medical community are very, they have this very good will of helping others. I never asked any of the labs that I wanted to visit, and they said no.
Yes.
No, never. In Europe or in the States, we always communicate and see. We went to see this technique or stay one day or a few days or whatever, and we're always open. And the same in our lab also, it's open for a lot of people that came and learned it, and we gave a lot of courses and training and workshops, because we have to transmit knowledge.
Yes.
So it's essential in the field of science, and not to be closed up. We have to communicate and
yes, very important, the sense of
exchange.
communication, Professor. And through the National Research Institute, training with the outside world, collaboration with the other institutes worldwide. How did this have an impact on the performance of the institute?
Well, to come back to the top, the management of science and technology, we established what's known as the International Relations Office.
Yes.
And I'm in charge of that office at present. It's been on for the last 20 years. Any collaboration between Egypt and any other country on a scientific basis, we carry that out, finding out fellowships for the younger students, finding out projects that are of mutual interest for both sides. And that builds up a great deal of knowledge and exchange of visits from both sides. So it's beginning, you were beginning to reap the outcome of that through a great deal of agreements that we've already managed to carry out.
Also collaboration, Dr. Ragaa. Yes, you want to add something?
Yes, I just want to add something,
yes, sure.
you know, just taking the chance of your presence, because our center collaborated a lot with the National Research Institute in the field of genetics.
Yes.
Yeah, because
in
now,
what way was the collaboration?
In what way? Because nowadays, you know, in vitro fertilization is not just for helping families that infertile or they need to help to have a baby.
Yes.
We also help families, they have children and they have no problem in conceiving naturally, but they have children with genetic diseases. So they come to us to get pregnant through in vitro fertilization, so we'll have the embryos in the lab and we'll be able to take a biopsy from the embryo and test it genetically at the chromosomal level or the genetic level to find out which embryo is free of the disease, which is the carrier or the diseased one. So in this specific area, we really had a lot of collaboration and help from the national, and we have 2 professors from your institution working with us.
That's great.
Yes, yes. Because, you know, the field is becoming also, it needs a lot of different subspecialties, not just, you know, one. And testing the embryos genetically, it is the top now, you know, the most, you know, advanced technology now being applied in vitro fertilization.
Yes, we will talk about that maybe to let our audience know more about the revolution in that sphere. But first, let me ask Dr. Nabil about the youth today and we are investing, of course, in the youth today as a state. His Excellency, the President, pays special attention to the youth. We find the different youth forums that has developed from just an idea to a great forum where we could see different voices. And also we have the World Youth Forum today, the youth from all over the world sharing. So how can we make the youth today interested in science and interested in doing research themselves? How can we make them hands-on with the scientists, helping them out?
Within the National Research Center, it's carried out automatically through any new young scientist who's been appointed. He goes through a series of training courses, and then he begins to fit it in within which side he'd rather to move in rather than the other side. What we can do is always try to find the better school that he can go to abroad. Or internally. We might have it in some other universities. There's so many variation within Egypt right now. So the younger generation are beginning to realize these courses, and they apply to it. Any training they can get, they'll go for it.
Yes, that's great, because it's very important to have a new generation which is interested in scientific research, how to bring this part in them.
Speaking of that, I would also like to add that we need to train these youth from the undergraduate, you know, years. this is very important. That's how in the States they have army of researchers. They have army of young researchers. When I joined there, I was already, had a degree, graduated, and also a master's degree, and I went there and I started working with them.
Yes.
From the beginning there, every research we were doing, there were at least 1 or 2 of the medical students, just in first or second, years in medical school, and they join us in every step we were working, just watching what we're doing. Asking them to go collect references, asking them just to go to the animal house to inject the animals, or just asking them to wash the lab ware. That was all and we were doing it in a very, happy way.
Yes.
And they learn a lot from us. And by the time they graduate, they knew all they take the experience, and they communicate with professors and people doing the research, or the first investigator doing the research, and they communicate and everything. So by the time they graduate, they really know what's research and how to do it. Mm-hmm. For example, the first 2 publications I participated there. Among our research team in the co-authors were 2 medical students. Mm-hmm. So that's how we need this. Does not need budget or anything. It's not just the idea of involving.
Yes, to make them hands-on.
Students in the undergraduates.
Yes. So it starts with the undergraduates.
Yes.
It starts with the undergraduates, preparing them for that.
Preparing
them for that. Yes. The importance of scientific research centers, Professor, the role they play, how to upgrade those centers. How about the finances? Because we always say that scientific research needs finances.
They'll never stop asking for financing, so whenever they get it, they'll get it. Yeah. But the point is, who's the end user at the end of the day? Mm-hmm. Is it industry? Is it agriculture? Is it medicine? What's the end user and what's his target? That's one of the roles of our marketing systems within the National Research Center. Finding out the groups that could get together and give you an end product that you need. The difficulty is that our industries are a little bit hesitant to ask for help. They wouldn't come for help unless you can give it to them free. And there's nothing free nowadays. You have to pay for everything. The equipment, you can't get it free, the chemicals and so on. So the information is exactly the same. And before doing that, you have to, that's why we go into patenting things. If a patent, you got a good idea, it's a new idea, take it in and register it, get a patent, and then apply it.
Yeah. Do you remember an idea that just clicked throughout the journey, and you helped it out to be brought to the limelight, and you still feel that that was achievement once upon a time?
Most of my personal achievements are on the basic side.
Yes.
In other words, basic sciences and the research that came out of it and the end product. But when we really need, what we really need is industry to come in with us. The problem is that most of the industrial sectors are either private and they don't want to pay much. They want the information for nothing, as much as they can. If it's what is known as turnkey industries, you can't touch them because he's already come from a foreign company who sold you the know-how, and you can't even change it except through the parent company.
Yes.
So the communication here is a bit tricky.
We'll get back to Dr. Ragaa and ask her about the revolution in the field of vitro fertilization. But first, let's see this report and more highlighting that important occasion, and also the speech of the President, where His Excellency had asserted the importance of science and scientific research in our lives, and also how science and scientific research today serve development of this country. Let's watch.
تحية تقدير واحترام لبطل حقيقي. البطل ده هو مصر وشعبها. الحكاية مش حكاية لا حكومة ولا قيادة، ده حكاية كل مواطن في مصر. أكرمت مصر وشرفتوا مصر وعزيتوا مصر، انتم قتلتوا. فالشرف كل الشرف، والكرامة كل الكرامة، والفضل كل الفضل لله سبحانه وتعالى، ثم ليكم انتم. شرفتوني واكرمتموني وعزتوني ورفعتوا راسي قدام الدنيا كلها باللي انتم عملتوه. والله 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 لن يستطيع اي رئيس يقف مكاني هنا انه يقدر يعمل حاجه بدونكم. لن يستطيع. قصه وطن يتحدث عن نفسه، شعب اراد الحياه فاستجاب له القدر.
جوائز الدولة التقديرية في العلوم الأساسية الأستاذ الدكتور نبيل عبد المجيد محمود صالح، أستاذ متفرغ بالمركز القومي للبحوث.
Celebrating Science Day, President Abdel el-Sisi honored a number of Egyptian scientists, professors and researchers for their relentless work. At the ceremony held at El Manara International Convention Center, President el-Sisi stated that education, scientific research and innovation have and will remain top priorities for the state, underlining the pivotal role Egypt's scientists play in the country's development. President el-Sisi highlighted that the country has been giving more attention to science and scientists for their important role in the state's progress. The president focused on the fact that despite all the challenges Egypt has faced, the Egyptian civilization remains inspirational. President el-Sisi announced year 2019 as the year of science to demonstrate the respect given by the state to science and scientists. President el-Sisi added that time has come for the Egyptian economy to rely on science and knowledge, affirming that the government is providing universities all over the country with the required equipment in this regard. It's worth mentioning that the budget of the Ministry of Higher Education hit 43.5 billion Egyptian pounds during the current year, compared to 36.5 billion Egyptian pounds during prior year, making a 7 billion Egyptian pounds increase. Egypt's public universities provide services to about 3 million students and include 220,000 students enrolled in graduate studies and about 1,200 envoys in priority fields of the Egyptian state, such as water, nanotechnology, and some medical specialties. Additionally, Egyptian universities host more than 60,000 students of various nationalities from the expatriate sector. In his speech, President el-Sisi asserted that Egypt is on the right track, paying science and scientists paramount importance, adding that the latest achievements in the different domains of scientific research will accomplish more progress and prosperity in the future. Long live Egypt! Long live Egypt!
المرحلة القادمة من مسيرة العمل الوطني تفرض علينا وضع الإنسان المصري في مقدمة أولويات الدولة من خلال إطلاق استراتيجية شاملة لإصلاح وتطوير منظومة التعليم تتوازى مع البدء في تطبيق منظومة التأمين الصحي المتكامل.
الفترة فدي هي بصراحه خطوه كويسه جدا يعني.
كلام ولا في الأحلام.
الناس مش مصدقه نفسها.
تضافركم معانا هينجح، سواء كان في التعليم أو في الصحة، والكلام ده للمفكرين والمثقفين والإعلاميين بالإضافة للمجتمع.
اي حد عنده قوائم انتظار يتصل بالرقم الساخن وربنا هيكرمه ان شاء الله.
اطلب لك قوائم الانتظار مع حضرتك.
لن ينجح أي نظام في الدولة المصرية، تأمين صحي، تعليم، استثمار، تنمية، إلا بالاستقرار والأمن.
صراحة حاسس بالشعب، لا في تغيير في البلد.
مس قلوب المصريين كلهم.
ادوا دفعة للنجاح وشجعوا وحطوا ايديكم معانا في ان احنا المنظومة تنجح. انا لو تخيرني بين ان انا اكل ولا اعالج دول، لا اعالج دول.
Dr. Ragaa, before seeing the report, we were talking about a revolution in the field of vitro fertilization, and let me co-link it with what the President said when he mentioned that Egypt's achievements were the outcome of the great people's dream that had been fulfilled with their sense of determination. From the very first day, you had a dream, and you wanted to fulfill that dream. You wanted to conquer a certain speciality that, and to leave a mark in that area. So if you would give a piece of advice to the young women, young girls also watching us while we are talking about women empowerment in Egypt that took great strides under the leadership of the President, what would you tell them? How can we have, as females, a dream and be empowered to achieve that dream? Like you.
Yeah, I really would like to tell all these young women that the future is open for them. It's not, you know, it's not that we hear about obstacles or somebody's trying to push us aside. I never felt that. Because we went to college, we were colleagues, you know, me and my male colleagues. I never felt any separation or any discrimination. And also when we were appointed to the university, you know, as a resident, I had the chance and I had my chance, and you know, and when I went abroad. So it's just, you know, you need to work hard and don't take any excuse that you are a female or a woman that you won't achieve your dreams. As the future is open, you just work hard and collaborate with people. Everybody will help you. People like to help each other, and you know, just be open and you know, and work hard
and have a dream. It's very important to have a dream, have an objective.
Yes, yes. I really would like to remove this idea from young women and girls that they are being, you know, pushed away or anything. They're not giving a chance. I never felt that, really.
Dr. Nabil, women empowerment at the National Research Institute. How was that?
They're taking over the institute, so don't worry. There are already there's over 50%
over 50%,
women,
yeah.
females,
Yeah.
females in the National Research Center.
That's right.
Chapeau to you.
They know where they're going.
Yeah.
They had a dream and they want to fulfill.
They had a dream and they went behind it, and they're getting there. Some of our top scientists, not only at present, but in the past few years, are females. And they're really top-notch in a sense.
Yes.
One of the award givers this year was from the Research Institute.
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Maha.
Yes. It's always good news, you know, to see women excelling and reaching their dream and achieving targets and objectives.
Sure.
Definitely.
Definitely it is. Investing in the potential, as we've said, we are investing in women and also in the youth, and education itself. Education is the backbone of the country's development. If we're talking about the Vision 2030, and linked to education and scientific research.
Exactly. That's the beginning. It's very important, education. This is very, very important before we talk about scientific research or, or anything. We have to look at the base. So the base is education. And we have to, because we are dealing with children. And children are born with a lot of very open mind, a lot of inquiry in their minds. They have, they have a spark in their minds. They always ask questions. So we need to bring them up and in such a way to learn and understand, not just recite and without understanding and just so this is very important to encourage them to ask questions, not to suppress them and say no, don't ask this. This is not polite or this is not right. We have to encourage them asking questions because this is the basic of a good researcher in the future. And of course, we need to take care of education. And I can see these years how we are seeking out to improve our education system in schools and seeking experience from Japan and especially from Japan. I'm very happy about that, really, because we might benefit very well from the Japanese experience in the school, young children bringing up. So this is very important.
Yes, and it starts with the young kids at school. Dr. Nabil, if you would like to add to the country's vision vis-a-vis of encouraging education and, of course, as a backbone for development in the Vision 2030.
I think the first step is the younger generation, boys and girls, have to go through a good educational system, quite solid. The first step is the most important part of it. They'll grow up and go wherever, in everyone in his own direction. But for the vision of the next century, we have to definitely base it on science and technology.
Yes.
It has to be the backbone after education.
Yes.
Upgrading education at all stages, Dr. Ragaa, and back to your field, vitro fertilization. We were talking about a revolution in that field. What is the latest?
The latest is collaboration between scientists in the field of embryology and scientists in the field of cytogenetics. So that enabled us to diagnose any genetic disease in the lab, in the embryo, in the first few days before transferring those embryos to the mother. So that's great. It would enable us to prevent genetic diseases. It will enable us to help families have children free from the genetic diseases. And the most common one in Egypt is thalassemia, which is a very devastating disease for children. There is hemolysis of their blood, and they need blood transfusion, and it is a lot of complications.
It evaded lots of challenges through this latest revolution.
So that's one of the most common, and we've been receiving families with children having thalassemia, and we help them to have children free of the disease. And not only that, we also help them to have the coming child free of the disease, and at the same time HLA typing matching with the diseased sister or brother. So in the future he can help in treating the diseased sibling.
Yes, every day definitely scientists.
Amazing development, really.
Scientists, exactly like our ancestors, the pharaohs, they never keep amazing us with new discoveries and. Definitely, until now. I was really delighted to have our Nobel scientists with me today on the Daily Debate. I thank you very much Professor Dr. Nabil Abdel, who is the former president of the National Research Institute and winner of the State Award of First Class. Thank you very much, Professor Nabil.
It was my pleasure.
We're really proud of you. Thank you so much. And we were really honored to have Professor Dr. Ragaa Taha Ahmed Mansour, Professor of Vitro Fertilization, and the winner of the State Award of First Class by the President. I thank you very much, Dr. Ragaa. You are really an icon of women empowerment.
Thank you very much.
And a great, bright image of the Egyptian woman scientist. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for
having
inviting
us.
us.
And congratulations to our dear scientists. Congratulations to Egypt that we have those noble figures working on the country's development and the country's future and a bright face for tomorrow for this country. I'm Taha Hussein, thanking you all for watching.